inside the gym at Leominster High School. For tonight's game, as the Leominster High School Blue Devils play host to the Gardner Wildcats. Let's first meet the visitors from Gardner. At guard, number 1, Christian Feliciano. At guard, number 2, Lorenzo Colon. At guard, number 13, Anthony Perry. At forward, number 23, Sam Mena. And at the other forward, number 24, Paul Victor. The Wildcats are coached by Pete Gamache, assisted by Matt Bernier. And now, let's meet your Leominster High School Blue Devils. At forward, number 12, Brian Perez. At guard, number 22, Terrence McCormick. At center, number 25, Isaac Tyson. At guard, number 33, Justin Dada. Also at guard, number 44, Nico Delakia. Leominster is coached by Kevin Grunchfield, assisted by Justin Dada and John Cordio. Will you please join us now and rise for the playing of our national anthem. And good evening, everyone, and apologies for our abrupt beginning, but we're glad to have you with us inside the gym at Leominster High School. It's time for basketball on this Thursday night. Leominster and Gardner inside the gym at Leominster High School. Alongside Kate Robbins, Todd Robbins for Rivalry Family Media. Happy to have you along with us as we set to action here inside the gym at Leominster High School. The Wildcats control the ball off the start of this one, and they open with a three-pointer to start the basketball game. These two teams, opposite seasons to say the least. Leominster comes in with a 3-0 record. The Wildcats 0-3 in the first 2 weeks, including a loss to Leominster this past Monday night, a 61-51 Blue Devil victory. But from talking to Gardner head coach Pete Gamache, he said a very different team. They learned a lot on Monday night. Very different team with a very different approach coming into tonight. They were able to stay within 10 on Monday. They had opportunities to close that gap even tighter. And we'll see. The Wildcats came right out of the chute, hitting an opening three-pointer to put Leominster back on their heels. On the inside, it was Paul Victor missed the second shot on the second trip down the floor. Just a minute gone by here inside the gym at Leominster High School, and great to have you along with us. Apologies for the technical difficulties. We're as frustrated as you are, but we're happy to have you back along with us courtside inside the gym at Leominster High School. Todd Robbins alongside Kate Robbins for Rivalry Family Media tonight. About halfway through this first quarter, Leominster and Gardner here at the gym at Leominster High School. Blue Devils a 3-0 record, Gardner a record of 0-3 coming into the night. First 4 minutes gone by, Leominster with a 10-5 lead. +5 here through the first 4 minutes. Wildcats opened with a flurry, a three-point basket to open the basketball game, controlled the ball substantially through the first couple of minutes, but weren't able to capitalize on it. And then Leominster, slow and steady, has found their way back into this basketball game. Right off the shoot as we welcome you back on the air, Kevin Viola with the lay-in. And meanwhile, Gardner head coach Pete Gamache says 12-5, that's enough of a run. He'll take a timeout and have a conversation with his squad over on the bench, which gives us an opportunity to say hello to you courtside as well here inside the gym at Leominster High School. It's as if, Kate, they knew we needed a minute to say hello here inside the gym at Leominster High School. We appreciate everyone's patience through the technical difficulties. We also welcome our viewers joining us via delay at Leominster TV. Apologize for your delay in the play-by-play call as well, but we're happy to have you now along with us here courtside as we have reestablished our connection with our friends at Facebook Live. Kate, an interesting battle here. 3-0 Leominster through the first 2 weeks. Meanwhile, 0-3 Gardner. Coach Gamache had said to me earlier in the week he knows his team was capable of more in that battle on Monday night. They were very closely matched. There were points where Gardner had a chance to close what ended up ultimately being a 10-point deficit and maybe push Leominster back on the heels. Starting with that three-point basket certainly made a difference off the top, but unfortunately they find themselves now in a 12-5 hole halfway through this first quarter.
I think one of the most interesting points that you made right up off the top is this situation with the home and home. The fact that a coaching staff can see something on Monday and have a few days to be able to put in place a remedy for exactly what they saw. They don't have to worry about any other opponents for the week, and so you can put in an adjustment. We always talk about mid-game adjustments so frequently, but you can put in an adjustment as a coaching staff, and then you can kind of see it come to fruition throughout the rest of the week. Obviously, because there are so few games, it's a situation where, you know, things can kind of get out of control pretty quickly. But like we said, that home and home situation certainly does make things a lot easier on a coaching staff in that respect.
Indeed it does.
Brian Perez picks up his team second for the Blue Devils, and for the Wildcats, Mena has 2, team has 2 as well.
Put back good there for Brian Richards, seeing some of his first action of the night. And so Donna with control for Leominster, moving from left to right, cuts to the foul line, pops a mid-range, can't get it to go, and the rebound down in the hands of the Wildcats. This is Cologne. As we pass under the 3-minute mark, Leominster holding that steady 5-point lead, and into the cut come the Wildcats. A 3-point basket there for Ryan Gray, and all of a sudden, Leominster's, what had been a pretty steady 5-point lead, is cut to just 2. Blue Devils with a little struggle on the offensive end. This is Halstead for Perez, then back to Dada straight away. Now into the corner, it's Perez. The baseline drive, switches to the right hand. Nice job going left-handed down the baseline, crossed over to the right and laid it off the window and good. 14-10 Leominster, 2:15 left here in quarter one.
One of the things that these Wildcats are doing, because Leominster right now already has 2 threes from the exterior perimeter there, one of the things that you're seeing is that on that defense, they really are trying to push. So Leominster's gonna have to get into the paint if they're going to want to make anything happen.
Scoop shot won't go there for Viola. Then there's a foul on the post-shot action. And they're going to bill it against Leominster. Isaac Tyson gets charged for that one.
That'll be his first team third for the Blue Devils.
And seeing some of his first action of the night, it's Chase Hawes for the Blue Devils. had a great night. First broadcast, we saw them last week in a game against Narragansett. Has had a little bit of a struggle since. That can happen to a young player, getting some of his first substantial varsity action. I assume, Kate, it has nothing to do with the fact that we mispronounced his name the entirety of that first broadcast.
Probably not. But we've been corrected, so that's a good thing. We thank the community members for helping us out with that. We want to get it right.
Absolutely. We do everything we possibly can. And I mean, Kate, the story is fantastic.
Oh, it is. Are you going to tell it?
We will, at our next juncture of the action, we'll get that in. Here's a lay-in good for Paul Victor. Is the story of how we got the name and our ability here on this broadcast to bring the community together, so to speak, amazing. Dada drops to Viola. Inside out, it will work its way to Moisen. And then a foul away from the ball. Looked like they pointed out Feliciano. 1:25 to play here in quarter one. 14-12 Leominster's lead. Fouls at 3 apiece. Gardner opened with the basketball. There have been no held ball since. Arrow favors the Blue Devils.
Turnovers have not become a problem quite yet. So that's good for both squads. You like to see that get cleaned up around midseason.
Viola drops on the roll from Moisen. And Moisen from the right elbow with the smooth drop.
Right now, scoring contributions from 5 different Blue Devils so far here in the early going.
Hard charge up floor. Feliciano queued up Gray, and Gray too strong from the left corner as we wind under the first minute, or the last minute here, of quarter number 1. Here's Moisen. Off the front rim. Players spin down to the floor on the rebounding action. I think Gray caught either a fingertip or an elbow. And he's going to get some medical attention over on the far side there.
He does pick up his first foul, though, on that previous action. It's going to be team 4th. It's going to be his first. But we are going to...
yeah, the assistant coaching staff and the trainer on site was able to jump on top of him. And, yeah, they're going to have to clean things up. It looks like it's much like a boxing injury. It's in the area just above the left eye socket.
There's a lot of blood, though.
And much like any other facial injury, that will tend to bleed significantly. But they were able to get him off on the floor. He's getting the medical attention he needs. He'll be perfectly fine. He's going to have a great story to go with it, and a heck of a shiner. But they're going to take a second to clean things up out here on the floor.
And you mentioned that's one of the things about any type of facial injury. Sadly, I have a story. I was a swimmer in high school, and when I was a sophomore, I was in the middle of a practice, and we were doing a relay, and a swimmer dove into the water and punched me directly into the face. Ouch. And I was wearing goggles that didn't have any padding on them, and so it sliced open my face and it just bled profusely. It wasn't anything, crazy or tragic, but that area of the body does tend to bleed quite a bit. So it looks a lot more significant than it likely is, but everybody doing a really nice job, being very attentive over there. The training staff doing a really nice job. Athletic Director David Palazzi from Leominster is taking care of the remnants.
The communicable disease
rule is in effect.
Yes, absolutely.
So we're just going to have a little bit of a spell here, but like you said, he looks completely fine. It's not in his eye. You
Correct.
can tell it's above it. So they'll get him cleaned up and see how he does.
Like you said, a scary, if not nerve-wracking situation. I know, of course, his parents very likely joining us on the broadcast this evening. And from what we can tell from our location here across the floor, we can report out that he's going to be okay.
Yeah, both eyes are functioning.
We'll keep you appraised as the ball is put back into play. And it's Haas for Viola, cutting down the left side of the lane. He'll lay it in and good. And Leominster increases their lead in the final 40 seconds of the first quarter to 18-12.
That was a long 5.
Yeah, full court pressure. And they were able to find their way in. It's Feliciano, under 30 seconds here in quarter 1, and a moving screen called, an offensive foul, and the ball will go back to Leominster. 26 and 8/10 seconds left here in quarter 1, 18-12 Leominster's lead.
Found my newest favorite official. Nice, crisp, large call there. No hesitation.
I do appreciate
I've got a new favorite.
A big charge call when you get one.
We know that I have favorites in football, so now I found a favorite in basketball. It took a while, but I found one.
Dada for Halstead. Final 15 seconds of the first quarter. Shot clock off. Leominster can hold for the last shot. Viola, token drive, back for Halstead. Now for Moisen. Moisen a little underhand scoop. Viola guns baseline. In a triple team, Hawes swatted away and driven to the floor. He landed hard on his tail as Sam Mena got all ball, and the body momentum just sent Hawes to the floor. He didn't have his legs underneath him on his way down, and that's the way the first quarter of action will end. Through one quarter, which has been choppy to say the least, Leominster on top of Gardner by an 18-12 mark. So many ways to play in this one. Of course, you're watching live broadcast here, facebook.com/media rivalry for your live coverage of Leominster High School basketball. And then, of course, game available on demand, slightly modified this evening, and we appreciate your patience. On YouTube, you can search Rivalry Family Media on YouTube. You can like, follow, and subscribe today. Updates to the schedule and reports from around the region as well. Available on Twitter @Media Rivalry. For that social media information. Going to get a closer look here over on the bench area. And you can see the eye area swelled up there pretty quick, Kate. But does look like good news to report, as we said earlier. Does appear to be okay over on the sideline there.
As you said, he'll have a story.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Leominster will start with the basketball to begin quarter number 2. They'll continue going left to right. Wearing the home white tops, white bottoms, trimmed in royal blue across the shoulders, and the royal blue numerals front and back. Blue Devils, parallel and square around the numbers on the front of the jersey. Moisen with the jumper, missed everything. Dada the rebound, but committed the foul on the rebounding action, and you could see Moisen frustrated with himself.
Dada picks up his first. It's going to be team 4th for the Blue Devils.
And Feliciano will bring the ball up floor with Perry. Float in the post, Nico Delichii back with the Blue Devils after missing the first game of the season we had here on RFM. He works the transition with Dada to perfection. The drop-off, the kiss-off glass, and Leominster's lead is up 8 through 7.5 left here in the second quarter.
And Dada is up to 7 points on the night so far.
Sorry, Kate, an unforced error as that one gets sent across the baseline out of bounds.
7th turnover for Gardner thus far.
Dada sporting the red and white shoes down there. I'll never get used to a Blue Devil athlete wearing red anything. So I know there's a number of alumni and current players that are with me, on the fields. I like the off colors. Like, there's some great off colors out there. There's an electric blue over on the Gardner side. We've got a lime green there, called key lime pie out there. But the red on the blue and white, there's a red on the black and orange as well for Gardner. But red on Leominster. Gonna struggle with that one. Viola with the 3. He hits.
Viola's up to 7 on the night as well.
Now, for the record, sharp kicks. Make no mistake about it. They're nice-looking shoes. They're just red. I like the periwinkle purple we've got sported out there as we see Asius seeing his first action tonight.
Yes, I have. Asius's shoes have been something I've actually eyed. Uh-oh. We've got a visitor.
Will miss his first. 6:50 to play here in the second quarter.
Confirmation from the athletic director that the injury that Gray sustained is above the eye.
Good.
Just above, and he will be okay, just in case anybody is at home watching.
We do appreciate it. I mean, that's the very different. We usually are able to talk about it off the start of the broadcast. The abrupt start tonight, of course, made it a little more difficult to acknowledge. Of course, those of you joining us from home, as Asius sets up a 3 and hits, and Leominster's lead now 26-12. And I know how difficult it is for parents not to be here to begin with, and then when you see potentially your student athlete go out of this game in a tough situation, and of course we're able to only offer so much as Perez makes the pick, lay in and good.
Perez now up to 7 points as well.
We could certainly appreciate how difficult that might be. 3-point opportunity there won't go for Brian Richard. But we'll do our level best as the dutiful reporters that we are. Keep you up to date on any situations that are there, and we appreciate Leominster Athletic Director Dave Palazzi able to come over and share that information with us. There's a spin move for Asias, sets up Dada for a 3. No roll on that one, and it came off hard on the rim, and the rebound comes down in the hands of Collins. And then a foul on the rebounding action will be charged against Leominster.
Fouls starting to pile up on both sides of the ball.
12 combined to this point.
That one is going to be against Delikiai. It's going to be his first. It's going to be team 6th.
Yeah, so 12 total between the two schools. 5:45 to play here in the second quarter. Leominster's lead 28-12. I thought, Kate, we were going to get a live update on a pronunciation. That was what I was really expecting from Leominster AD Dave Palazzi. Skip pass goes into the corner. Feliciano got that one from Mena, and then back and forth they play catch. Feliciano tried the entry pass and not able to successfully get it in the interior. Whistles kill the play, and the inbound will now come out. Remember, COVID-modified basketball rules here in 2021, all offensive end inbounds will come from foul line extended, even if the play would traditionally call for an inbound at the baseline. 5 to shoot on the possession. Victor swings for Cologne.
Needs some help.
And they lost track of time on that one. 5:15 to play in the second quarter, and the ball back to Leominster on the seemingly unforced error as the Wildcats just couldn't get anything going on the possession.
Leominster doing a little bit more communicating than we've heard.
Indeed.
Directing traffic is Perez.
Asias finds Delikiai for the turnaround in the lane that won't go. Perez drops it off for Delikiai, and Leominster maintains possession. Jumper for Viola, and he hits for 3.
He's got 10 now, double digits. He's hit 2 threes back to back.
Ball poked loose. They throw it out in front of Viola. That's how you pay off a steal. Viola with the steal to start the possession. Didn't catch who got the follow-up possession, but Viola does a nice job. Makes the tip, gets the leak out down floor, gets the payoff on the other end, lays it in and good with the points. Steal plus points on that possession for Viola. And a timeout taken on the court, taken by the Wildcats. 4:37 to play here in the second quarter, and a 33-12 Leominster lead.
For those people watching on the stream, we once again have a link that has been posted that is not an actual link in the comments. So if you see a link posted in the comments that is not from us, please do not click it.
Fascinating. Yeah,
That just means you're getting too popular.
Advertising a game against Quabbin that we are clearly not doing as well. If it's not one thing, it's another here courtside from the gym at Leominster High School tonight. But it's great to have you along with us. So, Kate, we started off, we kind of teased at it, and now we've kind of matriculated away from it. But we've got to talk about this Chase Hawes situation.
Yeah.
So I get an email after the game last week. It was forwarded along from AD Palazzi. It does happen from time to time. You never know what the contents of that email may include, and so it turns out, as I'm reading through
mad at you this
no, not at all, no complaints from the officials or anything like that. So I start reading the body of the email, and the body of the email basically sets it up this way. Coach Palazzi says, "Hey, check below for a pronunciation." So I scroll down a little bit farther, and so I start to read this email, and from a concerned grandmother who is trying to relay the situation, with the proper pronunciation. She explains in the email that, and this is my favorite part, she was one of Athletic Director Dave Palazzi's elementary school teachers, and she, like a perfect elementary school teacher, the ones I remember, set up that pronunciation perfectly.
I love it.
Spelled, of course, H-A-U-S-E, which I pronounced as house last week, not as in the one you live in, but house like, you might pronounce a last name. And she does a great job of saying it's house but not house. It's Haas.
Rhymes
with
pause.
pause. I was like, perfect.
Nice
I can
steal
work with
there
that.
by Viola.
Viola comes up short on the lay-in. So nonetheless, the good news is that after a quick visit to the principal's office,
Yep.
Athletic Director Dave Palazzi has been allowed to return to the action. He is now out of timeout, dating back to, I don't know when he was in elementary school. I don't want to put a date on him.
Well, you know that he was the quarterback for Leominster High School at the 100th game.
100th game, 1983. Yep, that's correct.
So, assumedly, he was not a senior then, I don't believe.
No, he was not. He was a junior.
So let's call him a junior. So then you subtract that from your 5 years old in the first grade. So 17 minus 5, so 12 years prior. So
1970.
yeah. I'm sure he's
But
thrilled.
we do appreciate the email anytime. We love the communication, whether you relay it through the athletic office or through us directly. rivalryfamilymedia@gmail.com for the direct, or of course you can always send us a direct message via Twitter @Media Rivalry or right here on Facebook. We take live corrections. We've had times before where folks just drop a pronunciation correction in the comments. Don't take it personally here. Like Kate said moments ago, our end goal is to get it right. And that is what we are aiming for here and having the opportunity to feature this coverage for the community, both here in Leominster and across the North Central Mass and Central Mass region broadly. I'm very fortunate here in our 3 years at Rivalry Family Media and with our partners at WPKZ, Leominster TV, and the Associated to get a chance to cover a number of games all across the region as well. Delakiai with the strong take. Lay-in is good. 37-14, Leominster on top, 3:10 to play here in the second quarter. This game will wrap up Gardner week for the Blue Devils. And on to next week, as we look ahead schedule-wise, it is Rivalry anything back inside the gym at Leominster High School. Of course, in winter season one, fall season one, Leominster and Fitchburg got put in separate pods.
And
so
Todd
you
was
had,
heartbroken.
I was heartbroken. You had no Fitchburg Leominster anything for that first chunk of this COVID-modified season of sports. But the good news out there is
Wow.
here in winter number one, the teams back together. And away we go, Fitchburg Leominster week next week here with basketball.
Gardner right now having a little bit of difficulty on the offensive end. Leominster playing stifling defense right now. Gardner's working hard to figure it out.
Leominster's doing a good job keeping them off balance as well, Kate. They're going between the 2-3 man's principled zone that you would see from like a Syracuse University to straight man off of made baskets. And
Look
you
at
can
that.
see it's caused
Wow.
Gardner to be rather off balance, but Richard rises up above the rim. Nice job with the hesitation and then able to lay it in. 2:20 to play here in the second quarter. Asias with the drive. Throws on the brakes and skidded the pivot foot. Called for the walk, and the walk will go back with the basketball to the Wildcats. Wrapping up that thought on Fitchburg Leominster week next week, Monday the 25th. It's Fitchburg Leominster girls 6 p.m. tip here on Rivalry Family Media and the Associated. And then on Thursday, the 28th, Fitchburg Leominster boys here at the gym at Leominster High School. We'll have the coverage for you on that one as well.
And with that turnover, that's the 11th turnover for Gardner here in the first half thus far. That's the stat right now to me that's jumping off the stat sheet. Leominster has had a pretty clean 4 turnover first half, whereas Gardner up to 10.
And lay-in is good there. Asias and Perez work together to convert those points.
Perez up to 9 points for the Blue Devils.
Gray returns to the basketball game, launches up his first three-pointer, just wide of the mark, and then in transition back down floor. Leominster draws the foul. 2 shots coming up here for Viola going to the line. Samantha Richards says, come on, Gardner, root on your team. Whichever way you may prefer here and your associations with either the blue and white or orange and black here on this one. Leominster and Gardner boys here on Rivalry Family Media. We do appreciate the contribution joining us as well. And again, the reminder Kate put out there for those of you that are just joining us, that link that has been posted inside, we will get taken care of at halftime. It's been posted in the comments area. That is nefarious. We will get that taken down at halftime. 1:37 to play until that halftime or end of quarter number 2, depending on how you look at it, and a 41-16 score. Both teams in the bonus rest of the way. Fouls at 7 aside. That pass a little long of its intended mark. Out of bounds, and the ball back to Leominster.
And that's one of the things that I've noticed as well. We've talked quite a bit about the chemistry on the floor and knowing where your teammates are. Gardner has been struggling a little bit on the offensive end with their passing. There's been quite a few errant passes, strong passes, but errant passes that have gone out of bounds, which have caused some of their 12 turnovers. So again, that's the stat right now that's jumping off the page at me, the 12 turnovers for Gardner and the 4 turnovers for Leominster. Everything else fairly even, of course, other than the score at the moment. Fouls are fairly even. Both teams are in the bonus at this point in time. Foul shooting is fairly even as well. So the big stat is the turnover stat. And even rebounds. Rebounds are fairly even as well, as Tyson misses his first.
Set up on this one on a missed shot from Dada, but sometimes things do work out, as Tyson came down, went right back up with it, and drew the foul. 1 0 for 2 at the line, though, so Leominster goes scoreless on the possession. Minute 10 to play here in the second quarter. This is Cologne, the long distance 2, and he hits. The Wildcats can shoot their way back into this basketball game. They are more than capable. As we go under the final minute here of the second quarter, Viola will miss the shot, and then the loose ball will spin its way to Tyson, who sets up an opportunity for a 3 that is delivered on by Terrence McCormick. Final 45 seconds of the second quarter. Cologne. The crossover, got stuck giving up the dribble in the midst of a triple team. There's the pick, and then the down floor outlet. Dada for Perez. He got bumped, but he walked with it first. Substitutions will check here as they'll make some adjustments. Coach Gamache does a little offense for defense shuffle. Wants to put an extra shooter out on the floor. 2-second differential shot clock to game clock, so the shot clock's still on here. Gray was caught in a double team in that left corner, tried to pass his way out of it. It got tipped up floor. It's McCormick, finds Viola. No luck on the touch. Rebound ripped down there for Collins. Up floor he goes. Puts it in the hands of Perry, and then Perry, too long of his intended target, Marlin.
The errant pass once again, but Todd, you just mentioned the name Gray. He is back in the game for Gardner. His eye is clearly well enough.
And that last second shot thrown up wide of said mark, and that is the way the second quarter will come to an end. Through 2 quarters here at the gym at Leominster High School. For the Blue Devils, it's a commanding 44-18 lead through the first 2 quarters here inside the gym at Leominster High School. We'll step aside for a moment, get some things cleared up on our end, and we'll be back with you. Third quarter action in just a moment. This is RFM. Back inside the gym at Leominster High School. Todd Robbins alongside Kate Robbins for Rivalry Family Media tonight, and great to have you along with us. Teams will change ends to start the third quarter of action, and right off the start, Dada comes flying down the right wing through the paint, draws contact, count the basket, great finish at the rim, and he'll go to the line for a 3-point play opportunity. Kate, Dada's 2 points aside, plus the foul shot coming up here. What stood off your chart through the first 2 quarters of action?
Right now, Leominster getting scoring contributions from quite a few different players. Viola with a team high 16 points in the first half of play for Leominster. Perez with 9, Dada up through the first half with 9 points as well. On Gardner's side of the ball, right now Cologne has a team high 6 points. He was 4 of 4 from the charity stripe as well. So Gardner doing a lot of things very well, but definitely struggling with turnovers, and particularly their passing, a lot of errant passing tonight thus far.
And it's the little things. Once those things start to happen, it's quicksand. One thing, then another. A not so sure pass as they try to look the Blue Devil defense off. Perez missed the initial, but Dada rises up. Catch and shoot. And Leominster's lead is now plus 30. 48-18, 7:10 to play here in the third. Right back down floor, though, the response comes from Sam Mena, who gets an open look and buries a 3.
And if you're Gardner, that's what you want. You want that quick strike, get some points. If you've got a look, take it.
Well, as cliche as it may be, Kate, there's no 27-point basket.
Certainly.
So you've got to build it one shot at a time. Terrence McCormick with the baseline drive and the lay-in good. Leominster crosses the 50 mark, 6:40 to play here in the third. And I think that's an important point that you've got to kind of play into this. You've got to build it one basket at a time on the offensive end and one turnover at a time on the defensive end. You basically need a 2-for-1 the rest of the way.
Oh, if he had finished on that,
Players
Victor
get
right
tied
there
up.
had a beautiful look. Gardner doing a much better job passing and working in transition to get back on the offensive end. And on that one, Victor had a beautiful look, but wasn't able to finish with the layup.
It was Viola and Victor that got tied up on the held ball. The alternate possession favored Leominster, and then they find Perez, and Perez kind of all by himself.
Takes a walk.
Takes a walk with it. My goodness. 6:22 to play here in the third.
The whistles have been prevalent. Again, here's Gray back in the game after the eye injury, left eye just above it. He's doing well, both eyes open. He looks lucid, it looks clear. He's good to go.
Absolutely.
And he wants the ball.
He does. He wants an opportunity to get back on the score sheet. Glasses, off the head of Victor. Landed on him the rebound. Leominster in transition. Perez will lay it in and good. That was the visceral reaction as somebody who has worn glasses, even when they played basketball back in the day. I felt that one. I really did. I felt that one for Victor. I feel terrible for him. That's no good. Ouch. Under 6 minutes we go here in the third. 52-21, Leominster on top.
Do we know who got that last bucket for Leominster?
I don't. I had seen the glasses come flying off, and I kind of locked in on that. Like I said, somebody, I've worn them since the third grade. I just know. I just know how frustrating that can be. 5:49 to play here in the third. Leominster with the basketball and back down floor from right to left. Viola, the drive into a double team, kicks Perez in the corner, hits a 3. 55-21.
Perez now with 11 points for the Blue Devils.
And Leominster Kate doing what they need to do. They're building the skill opportunity here. They have still got a majority very young team. And so these opportunities to build chemistry, to continue to improve, to continue to work the ball, that's why at this point in the third quarter, you can't take your foot off the gas. In the lane, the nice step around for Tyson, but couldn't finish at the rim. Feliciano for Cologne. Cologne with the deep 3, doesn't go. Viola got the long rebound and now takes it down floor and lays it in and good with a sweet touch at the rim for Viola.
Viola now up to 18 points for the Blue Devils. And one of the things that we're seeing from Gardner here, they're really trying to press. They're trying to press hard. They see the score differential. They're working hard. Some of the passing isn't working, and so you can see them really trying to press hard in the offensive zone, but more errant passes, and then they're only getting one-shot opportunities. They're not getting the offensive boards that they need to be effective. It's one shot and then right back to Leominster, and Leominster continuously hitting every single time.
Back-to-back possessions for assists for Dada. First one he found on the inside, it was Tyson, and then followed up for Viola. Great court vision for Justin Dada, the sophomore.
And it's kind of remarkable considering how few games there are. Leominster doing a nice job here. They look like they're in mid-season form, even though we're only in week 2, but it's week 2 of only 5.
Correct.
And so, as sad as it sounds,
you're
this
heading toward
is
the
mid-season.
halfway point.
Yeah, we're in mid-season, and so it's nice to see Leominster firing on all cylinders. Gardner, again, they are giving it their all out there. You can see the amount of effort, the amount of push that they're giving, especially on the offensive end. And right now, like you said, it's the little things not necessarily clicking. But again, this is only the 4th game of the season, so this is the type of thing that you might expect to see in game 4 of the season.
Swing in the corner, it's Gray. He's wanted to get back on the score sheet, and he buries a 3 there. Call him fully Joy out there on the floor. Here's Perez, slams on the brakes. Back top of the key, Dada into a double team.
Need some help.
Swings around, through McCormick to Perez. Short the shot, battle for the rebound. Tipped and rolling back down floor, and that was deflected into the backcourt, so Leominster could go back, pick it up, bring it back up floor, and continue their possession. This is Perez, tried to set up a jumper looking for the inside there. I think it was Nevard on the inside that they were looking for and weren't able to find him. Leominster, though, with the pick back down floor. Dada taking on 3 Wildcats, draws the foul, and finishes at the rim. 63-24 with a flourish.
Dada now up to 15 points on the score sheet.
And this is the kind of contribution Coach Kevin Grudgefield was expecting from Dada this year and frankly had to have from him in order to get this team clicking on all cylinders in a much younger lineup this year. Again, remember Leominster with just the 2 seniors, Tyson and Perez. Everybody else is an underclassman. And in that starting lineup, Leominster started more than a handful of underclassmen, freshmen, and sophomores, including Dada, McCormick, and Delikiai tonight as well.
Richard picks up a quick second foul, and it's going to be team 3rd for the Wildcats in the second half, sending Dada to the line, and he hits.
He does indeed. Leominster pushes their lead to 41. 2:50 to play here in the 3rd quarter.
He has 17 points, does Dada. And you mentioned that again, Todd, and you can't say it enough. When you graduate senior-laden leadership and you're asking a student athlete to pick up the slack the very next year, as a coach, you know that you have a good player, you have a competent player. Now it's about what type of leadership skill they're going to be able to bring, and is that balance still going to be there? Is it going to be too much pressure for a young student athlete? And in this case, this is, like you said, this is what Coach was hoping to see out of Dada this year.
And it's a step in a positive direction, right? In the
Certainly.
maturation process of a player, you're at sophomore year. Sophomore year is going to be weird no matter what. There's some growth you need to expect, and then you hope things settle to a more normal rhythm for junior and senior year, and hopefully there's a whole team that can grow with you.
Well, and as a sophomore, to be asked to be put into a leadership role, it is a little bit uncomfortable. Having gone through a little bit of it myself, not in a premier sport like this, but being a leader. This would be like this would.
Well, don't cut softball down.
No, not softball.
Okay.
Volleyball. I was the sophomore captain of the varsity team. And it's an odd position to be asked to take because, most of the time as a sophomore, you're really just starting to get into your own. And in this case, you're asking that student athlete to take on quite a significant position of leadership. And so it's been nice to see Coach probably being able to take a little bit of a sigh of relief, saying, okay, it's not too much pressure to put on a sophomore to ask him to step up because of the amount of contribution that he had as a freshman, the amount of minutes that he had. He's doing a great job.
Got some great folks checking in with us out there on Facebook tonight. Deborah Dada out there sends some positivity, both for Justin as well as for Perez. And I also see T-Mac getting some positive love as well out there as well. And as we take a look over there on the Wildcat bench, we have an update, or I should say a well wish or a message from Emily Malcolmson. Says, come on, number 12 out there as well. So there you have it. messages of well-wishing in all directions, and we certainly do appreciate it here at the gym at Leominster High School, and we're glad we're able to pass some of that love along from those that are at home and can't be here inside the gym because of the COVID modifications. But we're glad to be kind of the intermediary, if you will, the vessel through which you get to participate in this basketball season here at the gym at Leominster High School. Perez at the line had a good strong take, got himself a foul, and he will hit the first. And of course, this odd season for the senior Perez and Isaac Tyson, who are just excited to have seasons to be able to play. But you could see Perez, that strong take to the basket, able to lay it in. Perez shorts that one, so 1 of 2 on the trip. Haws the rebound. He'll set up Halstead. Inside Dada. That one won't go. And the rebound is pulled down. Final 2 minutes here of the third quarter. Here's Dada. The drive, kick back, Haws. And there's a little forearm shiver there. Defender was not defending with the feet, defending with the forearm, so they will blow the play dead.
That's going to be Lemoyne's first. It's going to be team 5th for the Wildcats in the second half.
Haws for Perez. And now back to Haws. Halstead finds Perez, top of the key. Swing for Dada. Dada breaks down, drive the lane, draws the foul on the inside. This one will go against Lemoyne, and Dada's got 2 shots coming from the line.
Lemoyne's going to pick up his quick second. It'll be team 6th for Gardner, and that's going to send Dada back to the line 9. 17 points so far for Dada, make it 18 points now.
Kate mentioned, of course, we're at the kind of de facto, if you will, halfway point of this season. We'll hit it officially sometime next week. But it's Fitchburg Leominster week, and next week, then it's Oakmont Leominster week in the first week of February. Second week of February, this modified regular season comes to an end with Quabbin Leominster week. Looking forward to all of that upcoming action. Bounce in the paint there for Paul Victor. Glasses taped back up and back in the basketball game. Clear vision, able to lay it in and good. Final 90 seconds of the third. And Haws comes back down floor and bombs away with a 3.
His first points of the game.
71-26 Leominster's lead. 1:15 left here in the third. And a whistle away from the play. Kate, I'm warming up to some sneakers out there. You know me, always looking to add to the collection. I like the electric blue that Marlin is sporting out there. There's another set out there. I'm trying to find them.
Oh, I'm so happy.
I know you're just
because
enthused.
What you need is more sneakers.
You can just hear the delivery truck arriving at the house already.
He has more shoes than I do, everybody. By a lot. It's not even by a little, it's by a lot.
Feliciano for Marlin, and stutters those electric blue high tops, and the ball will go back to the Blue Devils. 57 9/10 left here in the third. 71-26 Leominster's lead.
I think I'm going to have to exercise my veto power and say maybe you have a birthday coming up, so maybe later.
Maybe later.
Maybe later.
Spin through the lane.
Nice moves.
Yeah, Halstead will drop it for Haws and slow things down.
Gardner's defense, though, I tell you, they have been working so hard out there.
Forcing Leominster to work. Haws drops it off for Nevard. Swings his way back to the top of the key. Perez
Swarming.
tried to do too much with that one, but we'll pick it right back. Make up for the giveaway. Make the steal. Found Dada, and Dada couldn't finish at the rim. Everything's not always going to come up roses, and so a little adversity is a good thing as well. Perez tried to jump the lane on Marlin. Marlin keeps possession into the corner, drops it off for Martins. Swing around. This is Feliciano. Feliciano tried to drive and kick and was just off the mark, aiming for Gray, set up in the left corner.
And with every single turnover that Gardner has had, especially in the second half, the 11 turnovers that they've had, Leominster has scored on every single turnover, it seems like, that Gardner's had.
Perez takes the contested 3, got bumped, skidded into the Leominster bench. It was off the mark and 3/4 down here at the gym at Leominster High School. 71-26 Blue Devils on top, Wildcats through 3/4. The all-important 4th and final quarter coming up here inside
Viola is
the
up
gym
to
at Leominster High School. Go ahead, Kate.
20 points. Viola is up to 20 points. Perez has 12 points for the Blue Devils. I'm just tabulating and talking as I go. 19 points so far for Dada. He had 10 points in the 3rd quarter alone. Scoring contributions thus far for the Blue Devils from 8 different people. That is absolutely out of control. For the Wildcats, Cologne right now with the team high 6 points, as is Gray. But we know Gray spent the vast majority of the 2nd quarter having to get looked at by the team trainer. He wasn't even in the room. He was out in the hallway having to get bandaged up, but he has come back with a vengeance. His defense has been stellar, and he is on the board for the Wildcats with a tied team high 6 points for Gray. Again, Leominster's turnovers have been probably the highlight of my stat sheet on this end. Only 2 turnovers that I've been able to tabulate here in the 2nd half, and I have them for only 4 turnovers in the 1st half. So turnovers, in my estimation, have been a gleaming, shining beacon for the Blue Devils thus far in this one.
And they have certainly generated their fair share of them, to say the least, as they have worked their way through. And it's been about, playing defense with your feet, cutting off the passing lanes, getting the hands into those passing lanes, and making things more difficult for the Wildcats. And the timing has been just right to get those hands in the right place at the right time. Whistle, the ball put back in play, and we start the 4th and final quarter here inside the gym at Leominster High School. And you can hear the communication out on the floor. A lot of chatter out there. Asias. Inside that pass, got tipped. Sam Mena, that one was too close and too hot coming into his location.
Turnover number 12 for the Wildcats in the 2nd half. And again, Leominster doing a really nice job scoring on almost every single one of those turnovers that Gardner has had. It's not exactly a freebie, but it might as well be.
Indeed. Here's Halstead.
Nice defense.
Tried to cut down the lane, yeah, and it clean from behind. It was Victor and working with Mena. They were able to get a hand across and not make contact with the body. Up floor, yes, indeed. The conversion, Halstead for Haas.
Haas with 5 points now. Oh, we got a shoe issue. Don't pass it to the guy that needs to tie his shoe.
Indeed. They try to push it back out. In this case, it was Martins.
Another steal for Leominster.
Indeed, and that's Asias with the lay-in good, 75-26. .640 to play here in the 4th. Cologne tries to put it over to Mena, and Mena lost the handle on it and into the bench. And Coach Pete Gamache, in this case, coaching right now for the future, trying to get opportunities, combinations worked out, trying to get players to gain more experience out there on the floor. And I mean, starting 4 seniors and a junior with a bench of seniors and juniors certainly is a great opportunity for this Wildcat team, and maybe just having a bit of a tough night tonight. They certainly will have an opportunity, and I've taken a look at their JV roster as well, and they have a substantial JV roster, not something that every team has available to them out there right now. So they'll get younger and get opportunities to grow and develop starting next year, as well as Halstead finishes at the rim. Cologne tried to push it inside, looking for Victor. Got tied up with Nivard, alternate possession, Leominster basketball.
And I think their JV team did very well in the game beforehand. I was putting equipment together, so I only glanced very quickly. But I think they did very well in the game earlier this evening. But I could be completely wrong. So
no, not at all.
Never trust what I say.
Asias for Haas. Haas into the trees.
There were 4 black jerseys there.
Indeed there was. Kick back out, though, for Halstead. Drew all the attention and got Halstead open for a wide open 3, 80-26. Leominster on top. Cologne comes back down floor, trying to move quickly, fires and misses a 3. And in transition, this is Asias for Haas. Now back to Asias from the tight right corner.
Wow.
Got it up on the rim, a little kiss of the glass, and down it goes. 5:15 left here in the fourth, and an 83-26 Leominster lead. And I know there are folks out there that are joining us maybe perhaps for the first time tonight, and you're wondering to yourself, given, of course, the score and what you're seeing here, how can these two teams be equatable? Remember that in this 2021 season, the primary goal for all of Midwatch, regardless of where you were, was to be able to safely have competitions. That has been the mission of athletic directors, principals, and athletic leaders all across the state here in 2021. So competitive balance was not one of the factors that was really considered in putting together these pods. Pods were put together geographically to create the safest travel in best possible travel situations, and of course to keep the smallest bubbles you possibly can, if you will, of schools working together in order to keep one another safe. So this Pod 6, full of a lot of great teams with some great rivalry history out there as you take a look. Fitchburg, Gardner, Leominster, Narragansett, Oakmont, and Quabbin. And you can certainly see the way things have gone thus far. In this one, maybe not a perfect year, but these two schools routinely played each other in fantastic battles in years gone by. This just may not have been the perfect year for the two of them to match up.
Well, in the previous game that they played earlier in the week, incredibly close matchup. And so this is one of those situations where, you're taking a look to see what types of adjustments are the coaching staffs making. And so when you get a second bite at that apple right off the bat, it becomes kind of interesting to see those in week, not necessarily in game, but in week adjustments that are able to be made. Gray picks up his third. It's going to be team 8th. Leominster remains in the bonus. Halstead picks up his first there.
Yep, he does hit the first.
And like you said, the true victory is being out on the court every
At
single
all.
night.
Period.
At all. And
Safely.
And all of the teams know that.
4.5 to play here in the fourth.
That's why when you're taking a look at Gardner, there's nobody hanging their head.
Nope.
There's nobody giving up. There's every bit of effort that you expect from a 3-point game that you're seeing out here. And that's what you like to see, because everybody involved understands the true victory is being out on the court. Because if you talked to the seniors in baseball, softball, or lacrosse, what they wouldn't give just to be able to have a truncated season
Absolutely.
last spring, that becomes something that the student athletes know they're taking advantage of having the opportunity, and that's really what they're asking for. They want to be able to play.
And although these players may not have been seniors at the time, some of them may have experienced the loss of a season last year. So they know what's at stake. They know what the opportunity is, and they're all out there. And I will say, this is something unique to Central Mass, and I have a view of Eastern Mass as well. Here in Central Mass, knock on plastic, because it's the plastic city. The one thing I can say is that the players are making the right choices. They're making the right choices to take care of one another, take care of themselves, be able to stay healthy, and stay out and stay away, ward off an international pandemic to be able to stay out on the floor. And that's a great credit to student athletes from the ages of 14 to 18 to be able to make the right decisions when, it's not the easy thing to do. Making the right decision every day to be selfless because you want to be able to contest your sport is not easy by any stretch of the imagination, especially going on now, with this international pandemic. Turn the corner. Yesterday was, of course, the finding of the 1-year mark of the finding of the first case here in the United States. And you're just a little less than 2 months away now as Haas hits the 3 from 1 year since the shutdown began. And that's
the longest
where
year
we
of
are.
our lives.
Absolutely, for everybody. It has been the longest year. you can only imagine how difficult it is to be a teenager who has a lot of things on their mind, and an international pandemic is the last of the things they want to pay attention to.
That's why we feel so acutely for the parents, because they are seeing, they understand what their experiences were like as a teenager, and understanding exactly what has been taken from their, from their children, from the people that, they are closest to, and just how significant that is. And so when you hear parents out there advocating on behalf of their student athletes, everybody understands. When you hear parents advocating on behalf of their children, everybody understands, because they know so acutely exactly what it is that's being taken away.
And not because of anything other than a pandemic that has raged out of control for almost a year. 2:58 to play here in the fourth. 89-26, Leominster's lead. And Kate, you referred to those spring athletes, and of course some of the reporting we saw out of MIAA land yesterday that was telling is that one of the motions that was made yesterday, of course the MIAA has not sanctioned playoffs to this point. They have no intention, and they took a vote to this effect yesterday, of sanctioning playoffs in fall 2, but there was a motion on the table that when we arrive at the spring season in May and June, there has been a request that the MIAA look into hosting some kind of a postseason tournament as a, if you will, a makeup to those spring athletes that weren't able to compete for a state championship in 2020. Now, when everyone sits down with the lawyers and the liability and everything else gets sorted out, will that be able to happen? Call me skeptical at this point in time, but I know everybody's doing the best they possibly can to even have the discussion about whether that's something that can be on the table for spring athletes.
We'll see what comes out of it.
Swing into the corner. This is Collins, missed the shot, tip of the rebound, kept alive there by Richard. Scramble, Marlin recovers, the reverse lay-in is good, plus a foul. Coach Gamache makes a couple of puzzle piece adjustments before Marlin has the opportunity at the line to complete a three-point play. Front rim, no. Moisten the rebound. 2:10 to play here in the fourth. 89-28, Leominster on top. Coming up post-game here on Rivalry Family Media, we'll be joined courtside by Leominster High School head coach Kevin Grudgefield. Looking forward to talking to him, discussing the development of things through 2 weeks with 3 to go here in this modified winter season. Cologne got an open look, missed it to the right, and the rebound for Hawes. Collins came down gingerly and is trying to scramble back into the play. Might have gotten stepped on either in the rebounding action or landed on a foot and rolled.
He's back, though, back in the paint.
Yeah, he scrambled back in. He's not giving up. But you can see he's playing on, at best, a foot. CS with the drive, called for what looked like, well, the signal appeared to be a double dribble, but they waved off the basket is what they did. And so it will be a foul. No, they are saying it was an inadvertent whistle. So Leominster will continue with 6 on the shot clock.
Okay.
No foul was reported out, so an inadvertent finger whistle, that can happen. Literally a little quick on the trigger. 3 to shoot. Hawes will throw one up. He got rim. Battle for the rebound. Whistle. And the foul on the rebounding action, billed to Gardner. Double bonus up here for the Blue Devils, and that will send Nivard to the line.
Gray is going to pick up his 4th. It's going to be team limit.
Compliments out there from Amy Lynn for Mike Halstead. And a Let's Go Leominster from Roseanne Santos. Thank you so much for checking in with us here on Rivalry Family Media. Great to be hosting you along with everybody else, part of our winter family here on Rivalry Family Media. That one won't go. The tip and the rebound pulled down from Moisten. 1:10 to play here in the fourth. Hawes with control. And now for Halstead. We'll see if Coach Grutchfield's bunch works the ball here. It's certainly going to use every second they can on the clock. as they wind under a minute here in the fourth quarter. 8 to shoot. Moisen, cross-court skip pause. Then Halstead, 5 to shoot, and Halstead hits the three. Wow. It's fun to watch, but it's NBA 2K now as we go under 30 seconds here in the fourth. 92-28. Leominster's lead. Swing. Shot is wide of the mark for Marlin.
Nice save
Kept
by
alive,
Gardner.
indeed. Lay-in opportunity for Perry, not able to go. Haas runs out the rebound. Final 13 seconds here of the fourth. Leominster can dribble this one out. Haas will hang on to it. Final 5 ticks to come off the board here, and Leominster will pick up their 4th victory of the season by a 92-28 mark over the Wildcats of Gardner tonight. Wildcats came out swinging, had great control in the opening minutes of this game. Some of them, of course, we were unable to bring you here on Rivalry Family Media, but with that piece aside, what I can tell you, Gardner came out strong. They controlled the early minutes of the game, opened with a 3, added 2 more points, got to 5, and then Leominster went on a run, got themselves on a 12-5 run, and then never really looked back from there, and that was the compounding complication for the Wildcats tonight, and Leominster just slowly, steadily, and successively added point after point after point out there, turning turnovers into points, doing exactly what you would want out there if you are Coach Kevin Grudgefield, and we'll have an opportunity to speak to him courtside coming up in a matter of moments. 92-28, Leominster a winner over Gardner tonight. We'll step aside. Coming up, Leominster head coach Kevin Grudgefield joins us socially distanced in courtside here on RFM. This is Rivalry Family Media.